Have you ever felt your legs getting tired, weak, or even painful, making it difficult to take a walk or even stand up from a chair? If you are over 60, know that you are not alone, and there is a solution to regain strength, balance, and the freedom to move without fear. Hello, and welcome to the Longevity Channel, your space dedicated to practical, natural, and science-based tips to help you live healthier, more independently, and with better quality of life after 60. Here, our commitment is to help you keep your body active, your mind sharp, and your energy renewed to enjoy every day. In today's video, we will reveal the 6 most powerful nutrients to fight leg weakness, which greatly affect seniors' mobility, and how to incorporate them into your routine to feel the difference quickly. Stay with me until the end. These tips are valuable and can transform your well-being. As we age, we tend to focus more on preserving the heart, brain, and bones, and rightly so. But what about our legs? They are the pillars that support us, our main allies for independence and balance. Often they are forgotten until pain, fatigue, or difficulty moving forces us to stop and pay attention. For those in their golden years, healthy legs mean much more than comfort. They are synonymous with autonomy, safety, and quality of life. Leg problems are common, but their impact goes far beyond the physical. They affect self-esteem, mood, and the ability to enjoy life. Age-related muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, is one of the biggest culprits that weaken feet and legs, making every step a challenge. Additionally, stiff joints, cartilage wear, and chronic inflammation limit mobility and increase the risk of falls, which can be very dangerous in older adults. Not to mention poor circulation and nerve problems that cause numbness, wounds that don't heal, and serious complications, especially for those living with diabetes. But the good news is that the right nutrition can be a powerful ally to protect, strengthen, and even restore the health of your legs. Beyond the traditional calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium, there are other nutrients and compounds that act directly on the structure, function, and energy of the legs, and that's exactly what we are going to talk about. Get ready to discover the 6 main nutrients that can make all the difference on your journey to stronger, healthier legs. 1. Protein. As the years go by, gradual muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, is one of the earliest signs of aging in the legs. Have you noticed climbing stairs is more difficult? Walking long distances tires you faster? Or standing up from a chair requires an extra effort? These are subtle signs that your muscles are getting weaker. Protein is the essential fuel to preserve that muscle strength and vitality. Our muscles are mainly made of protein, but as we age, the body becomes less efficient at using it for muscle repair and rebuilding, a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. This means we need a higher amount of high-quality protein to stimulate muscle growth and maintenance. One of the most important amino acids in this process is leucine, which acts as a biological switch activating the muscle growth pathway known as mTOR. Leucine is found in animal-based foods like dairy, eggs, and lean meats. Without the right amount of protein, legs weaken, the risk of falls increases, and consequently, independence is threatened. To give you an idea, current recommendations for seniors are to consume between 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, distributed well throughout the day, especially at breakfast and lunch, times when many tend to eat less protein. Think of our ancestors, men and women who, without access to supplements or processed products, basically consumed animal-based foods, meat, eggs, and natural dairy. They had robust, muscular bodies and natural strength that we today associate with athletes. This happened because the constant intake of animal proteins provided essential amino acids, especially leucine, which naturally stimulated muscle building and maintenance. Today, with modern diets often poor in quality proteins and the anabolic resistance of aging, we need to pay attention to ensure our legs get what they need to stay firm and strong. 2. Omega-3. This special type of fat is one of the greatest allies in the fight against chronic inflammation, which can cause pain, stiffness, and swelling in the legs, common symptoms that hinder mobility and affect seniors' quality of life. Omega-3 helps improve blood flow, protects nerves and joints, and reduces the typical discomfort of tired legs. The two most active components of omega-3 are EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, which are found mainly in fish oil and plant sources like algae. These substances regulate the body's inflammatory response and promote vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels. This results in better circulation, reduced swelling, and faster muscle recovery. Foods rich in omega-3. Cold water fatty fish like salmon, sardines, anchovies, mackerel, and herring. Fish oil, which can be taken in capsule form as a supplement. Seaweed, an important plant-based source for vegetarians and vegans. Flax seeds and chia seeds, which contain ALA, alpha-linoleic acid, a precursor to EPA and DHA. Walnuts, which also have small amounts of ALA. A clinical study published in the Journal of Clinical Lipidology followed seniors suffering chronic leg pain due to arthritis and vascular inflammation. Participants who received daily omega-3 supplementation between 1,000 and 2,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA for 12 weeks reported significant pain reduction and greater ease walking compared to the control group without supplementation. One case followed in the study was Maria, a 70-year-old woman who suffered from leg pain and stiffness, especially at the end of the day. After starting omega-3 supplementation, she noticed less stiffness, reduced swelling, and a lighter feeling in her legs, giving her back the freedom to take daily walks and tend to her garden, activities she hadn't been able to enjoy comfortably for a long time. This study reinforces the importance of omega-3, not just as a hard supplement, but as a vital nutrient to keep legs strong, flexible, and free from irritating inflammation. 3. Collagen. Collagen is the essential structural protein that keeps our tendons, ligaments, and cartilage strong, flexible, and healthy. It acts as the glue that holds everything together, ensuring stability and mobility in the joints. However, from age 30 onward, the body's natural collagen production begins to decrease, leading to stiffer joints, pain, and less flexibility, a problem that especially affects seniors. Hydrolyzed collagen peptides are easily absorbed by the body and can stimulate natural collagen production. Studies show that daily collagen supplementation for 8 to 12 weeks can significantly improve joint flexibility, reduce pain, and even increase bone mineral density. One of the most recommended types for effective absorption is marine collagen, which contains essential amino acids for rebuilding the joint matrix. Additionally, vitamin C is a crucial cofactor for collagen synthesis. Without it, the body cannot properly produce collagen. Powerful recipe to naturally boost collagen. Bone broth. One ancient secret for obtaining large amounts of collagen is consuming bone broth regularly. Made by slowly simmering animal bones, especially those rich in cartilage, tendons, and skin, the broth releases collagen and other nutrients that strengthen joints, improve skin health, and boost the immune system. Including bone broth in your diet, either as a soup base or consumed on its own, is a delicious and natural way to ensure a good daily dose of collagen. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry showed that people who consumed hydrolyzed collagen experienced significant reductions in joint pain associated with osteoarthritis after 3 months of continuous use.
Maria Helena, a 68-year-old woman, suffered constant knee pain and morning stiffness that made climbing stairs difficult. After starting daily marine collagen supplementation, combined with regular homemade bone broth intake, she noticed less pain, greater mobility, and overall improved quality of life in about 10 weeks. Today, Maria Helena feels more active, walks without discomfort, and has resumed activities she used to avoid. This combination of science and tradition shows that collagen is a powerful ally to keep legs firm, flexible, and free from pain, a true investment in longevity and independence.
4. Creatine. Nowadays, most high-performance athletes use creatine as a supplement to improve strength, speed, and muscle recovery. But did you know this nutrient is equally essential for maintaining muscle energy and preventing leg fatigue, especially as we age? Creatine is a natural substance produced mainly in the liver, kidneys, and pancreas, and stored in muscles where it functions as a quick energy reserve. It helps regenerate ATP, adenosine triphosphate, the battery responsible for providing immediate energy for fast, intense muscle contractions, such as those used to stand, walk, or climb stairs. With age, our natural creatine stores decline, and this reduction is associated with muscle weakness, decreased endurance, and a higher risk of falls. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology showed that seniors who supplemented with creatine combined with resistance training significantly increased strength and muscle mass compared to groups who only exercised or did not supplement. Another study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology indicated that creatine improves performance in functional tasks, such as standing from a chair and walking, helping seniors maintain independence longer. Research also suggests creatine may have beneficial effects on bone health by stimulating bone mineral density due to increased muscle strength and loading on bones. How to use creatine. The recommended daily dose for seniors is 3 to 5 grams, without the need for loading phases or cycling. It can be easily mixed into water, juice, or smoothies, preferably with a meal for better absorption. Combined with regular physical exercise, creatine is one of the most effective ways to reverse age-related muscle loss, strengthen the legs, and ensure more energy and balance in daily life. Number 5. Glucosamine. Glucosamine is one of the most studied supplements for joint health, especially for people dealing with age-related joint wear such as osteoarthritis, a common condition among seniors affecting mainly knees, ankles, and feet, essential joints for mobility and balance. This compound is a natural component of cartilage, the tissue covering the ends of bones in joints, allowing smooth movement and protecting against impacts and friction. With aging, cartilage wears down, making joints painful, stiff, and less flexible. Glucosamine acts as a brick in cartilage repair, helping to fix damage and strengthen the internal structure of joints. It also has anti-inflammatory effects, contributing to reduced pain and swelling in the legs, easing movement, and improving quality of life. Clinical studies have shown that continuous use of glucosamine, especially in sulfate form, can significantly reduce osteoarthritis symptoms, decrease the need for painkillers, and slow the progression of joint wear. The standard recommended dose is 1,500 milligrams of glucosamine sulfate per day, divided into 2 or 3 smaller doses for better absorption. Most positive effects appear after 4 to 8 weeks of constant use, so patience and regularity are key. A very important natural recipe to help strengthen joints, in addition to supplementation, is homemade bone broth, rich in collagen and glucosamine. It provides the necessary nutrients for joint and connective tissue health, helping maintain mobility and reduce pain. A study published in the American Journal of Medicine followed elderly patients with knee osteoarthritis who used glucosamine for several months and reported improvements in pain and walking ability. Additionally, many of these patients were able to reduce their use of anti-inflammatory drugs, avoiding common side effects of these medications. Glucosamine can be found in pharmacies, natural product stores, and supplements, as well as some conventional drugstores. It is usually sold as capsules, tablets, or powder, often combined with chondroitin, another beneficial compound for joints. It can also be obtained from natural sources, mainly in foods containing cartilage, like homemade bone broth, a traditional recipe that concentrates collagen, glucosamine, and other important nutrients for joint health, helping maintain mobility and reduce pain. If you opt for supplements, prefer products from reputable brands with good sourcing, and always consult your doctor or nutritionist before starting any supplementation, especially if you are taking other medications or have specific health conditions.
6. Curcumin. Curcumin is the main bioactive compound of turmeric, Curcuma longa, a root widely used in traditional Asian medicine for centuries, especially in Ayurveda and Chinese medicine. Known for its powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, curcumin has gained prominence in modern science as an effective natural supplement for relieving chronic pain and inflammation, especially in muscles and leg joints. How does curcumin work? Curcumin inhibits several inflammatory enzymes and molecules in the body, such as cyclooxygenase 2, COX2, lipooxygenase, LOX, nuclear factor kappa B, NFKB, and pro-inflammatory cytokines like TNF-alpha and interleukin-1 beta. These molecules initiate and perpetuate inflammatory processes that cause pain, stiffness, and tissue degradation in joints and muscles. Additionally, curcumin is a powerful antioxidant that combats free radicals, unstable molecules that damage cells and accelerate aging and wear of musculoskeletal structures. Science-backed benefits? Clinical studies have shown that curcumin supplementation can significantly reduce pain and stiffness in common aging conditions like osteoarthritis, tendinitis, and plantar fasciitis, problems that directly affect leg comfort and mobility. A systematic review published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that curcumin is as effective as conventional anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen, but with far fewer gastrointestinal side effects, making it a safe alternative for long-term use. Beyond pain relief, curcumin also contributes to tissue recovery and regeneration, accelerating healing and reducing chronic inflammation that can cause permanent damage. Absorption challenges and modern solutions. One of the biggest challenges with curcumin use is its low bioavailability, the amount actually absorbed and used by the body. To overcome this, optimized formulas combining curcumin with piperine, a compound from black pepper, or nano formulations have been developed, significantly increasing absorption, in some cases by up to 2,000% more than isolated curcumin. These modern versions allow curcumin to exert its effects faster and more effectively, even at lower doses. How to use? The recommended dose for anti-inflammatory support and pain relief ranges from 500 to 1,000 milligrams per day of standardized curcumin, preferably in optimized forms for better absorption. Effects usually appear after 4 to 6 weeks of continuous use, making regularity and professional supervision important. Curcumin in the diet. Besides supplements, consuming fresh or powdered turmeric in meals, in dishes like curry, soups, and sauces, also provides benefits, although in smaller concentrations. Combining turmeric with black pepper in recipes helps natural curcumin absorption. Historically, turmeric has been used in India and Southeast Asia not only as a spice,
but as medicine for various inflammatory conditions, muscle pain, and to speed injury recovery. This millennia-old tradition is now supported by scientific studies, reinforcing curcumin as a valuable resource for leg health in seniors.
If you are over 60, this video is especially for you, and I ask you to stay with me until the end, because the information I'm going to share can truly change your life. Have you ever stopped to think that a simple fruit, one that you've probably been eating for years, could be silently increasing your risk of having a stroke during the night? Without any symptoms, without warning, you go to bed feeling fine and suddenly wake up unable to speak, walk, or even move one side of your body. I know this sounds unbelievable and even scary, but I can assure you, as a brain specialist, I've seen this happen many times, and what's worse, not because of the obvious villains like smoking or fast food, but because of fruit. That's right, something we've always thought of as the epitome of health can, over the years and with natural changes in our bodies, become a real risk. After 60, our vital organs like kidneys, liver, blood vessels, and the brain itself process sugar, potassium, and acid differently. Moreover, medications we take, slower circulation, and dehydration that occurs during sleep create a dangerous combination. All of this can turn an apparently harmless fruit into a silent threat that acts while you sleep. In today's video, I will reveal the 6 most common fruits that, if consumed incorrectly or at the wrong time, may be harming your health more than you imagine. We will talk about each of them, understand the reasons behind it, and most importantly, how to consume them safely to protect your brain and heart. And pay close attention. The 6th fruit, the last one on the list, is the real key to this video. Many people would never imagine it could pose such a great risk, and this information could completely change the way you take care of your health daily. If you want to keep receiving practical, science-based tips focused on your well-being, take this chance to subscribe to the Longevity channel. Leave the word AWARE in the comments below to show you are taking control of your health. Now, without further delay, let's discover together which fruits deserve your extra attention. Let's start with one of the most popular and beloved fruits, the banana. That soft, sweet fruit many of us have loved since childhood. Easy to digest, full of nutrients, it always seems like a safe choice for a quick snack. But here's the crucial point. After age 60, eating bananas, especially when they're very ripe, might not be as harmless as it seems. This happens because as the banana ripens, its starch turns into sugar, making it sweeter. And a very ripe banana has a high glycemic index, meaning it causes blood sugar to spike quickly, which is dangerous for those whose metabolism slows down with age. Additionally, our kidneys start working less efficiently, insulin sensitivity decreases, and blood vessels lose elasticity. In practice, this means a simple, very ripe banana can cause a rapid increase in blood sugar, raise blood pressure, and even affect heart rhythm due to excess potassium. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 76-year-old retired librarian. She used to start her day with a smoothie made with very ripe bananas, believing she was making a healthy choice. But one day, after waking up dizzy and with slurred speech, she was taken to the hospital and diagnosed with a mild ischemic stroke. The combination of high sugar, excess potassium, and typical morning dehydration created a dangerous scenario. After that episode, Margaret changed her habits. She started consuming less ripe bananas, always after hydrating, and eating a source of protein to slow sugar absorption. The result? Renewed energy, more stable blood pressure, and much more confidence in her daily life. The lesson here is clear. Bananas themselves are not the enemy, but eating too many very ripe bananas or consuming them on an empty stomach can silently increase stroke risk. And beware, this is not an isolated case. Other common fruits can also pose similar risks, and that's what we'll talk about next.
Now, let's talk about grapes. Those small, sweet, refreshing berries many people love. They seem harmless, almost like a healthy treat. But the truth is, they're a concentrated source of natural sugar. Even seedless grapes, especially the sweeter varieties found in most grocery stores, are loaded with glucose and fructose. When you eat a handful of grapes, especially on an empty stomach, that sugar goes straight into your bloodstream, causing a rapid and high spike. This can be particularly dangerous for those over 60. As we age, our bodies respond more slowly to insulin, the hormone that helps control blood sugar, and blood vessels become more fragile and less flexible. This sudden sugar spike isn't just a quick burst of energy. It triggers microscopic inflammation in the delicate blood vessels, especially those leading to the brain. The body tries to repair this damage by forming small clots to patch the holes. At first, these clots are so tiny they go unnoticed, but day after day, they accumulate, increasing the risk of a silent stroke. Let me share the story of Evelyn, a 79-year-old retired music teacher who had the habit of eating grapes mid-morning while reading a book. She enjoyed them so much that she'd sometimes eat up to 2 cups without thinking. One day, Evelyn noticed her hand trembling and had trouble spelling "congratulations" while writing a birthday card to her grandson. Frightened, she was taken to the hospital where she was diagnosed with a small stroke, called a transient ischemic attack. This experience showed that even seemingly healthy foods, if consumed the wrong way, can become dangerous. The takeaway is, never eat grapes on an empty stomach or in large quantities. Prefer to eat a small handful, always paired with some protein or healthy fat like almonds or a piece of cheese to slow sugar absorption. And if possible, avoid eating them at night when the body slows down. Just like with bananas, the secret lies in balance and timing when consuming these fruits. But there are still more surprising fruits to discuss, and the next one will impress you. Next, we move on to pineapple, that sweet, refreshing tropical fruit many people eat after dinner. Although it seems like a light choice, for those over 60, especially those taking medications or with circulation problems, pineapple can pose hidden risks. The fruit is rich in bromelain, an enzyme that aids digestion and reduces inflammation. However, scientific studies indicate that in high doses or when combined with blood thinners, medications that thin the blood, bromelain can increase the risk of bleeding, including cerebral hemorrhages, a severe form of stroke. A study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food warns about this important interaction, which should be considered by those on these medications. Additionally, pineapple has a high glycemic index, causing blood sugar to rise rapidly. This sugar concentration, along with the fruit's acid, can cause silent reflux during the night, often without clear symptoms. This reflux allows small amounts of stomach acid to reach the airways during sleep, reducing oxygen to the brain, which is linked to morning strokes, which are often the most severe. I want to share the experience of Clara, a 77-year-old retired choir director. She used to replace traditional desserts with pineapple slices every night, thinking she was making a healthy choice. But one morning, Clara woke up dizzy and with impaired speech. Tests confirmed a small stroke, resulting from a combination of excess sugar, acidity, and silent reflux. Therefore, it's best to consume pineapple in small amounts and preferably during the day, never on an empty stomach, and avoid eating it before bed, especially for those on blood thinners or with circulation problems. With moderation and care, pineapple can still be a delicious and nutritious ally for your health.
Now let's talk about watermelon, that refreshing, juicy fruit composed of about 90% water, which many consider the best option to stay hydrated, especially on hot days. However, as harmless as it seems, watermelon can pose silent risks for people over 60, particularly those on blood pressure medications or diuretics. Although mostly water, watermelon contains a significant amount of fructose, the natural sugar found in fruit. Unlike glucose, fructose is almost exclusively processed by the liver, and when consumed in excess, It can overload the organ, contribute to insulin resistance, and cause systemic inflammation. Studies have linked high fructose intake to metabolic changes that harm cardiovascular health and increase the risk of events like stroke. Additionally, watermelon acts as a natural diuretic, stimulating urine production. For seniors already on medications that remove fluids from the body, this combination can lead to silent dehydration, a state where the body loses more water than you realize. This dehydration thickens the blood and slows circulation, increasing the chance of clot formation, especially in blood vessels already weakened by aging. Let me tell you about Howard, an 82-year-old retiree who took good care of his health. He walked daily, avoided sweets, and took his medications correctly. One of his routines was eating 2 to 3 large slices of watermelon after dinner to cool down and stay hydrated. However, one morning he woke up dizzy and fainted while trying to stand up. At the hospital, it was found that Howard had suffered a mild ischemic stroke caused by nighttime blood clotting worsened by dehydration. The recommendation is clear: consume watermelon in moderation and preferably during the day when you are more active and can replenish fluids more easily. If you take diuretics or blood pressure medications, talk to your doctor before making watermelon a daily habit, especially at night. Remember, not every fruit that seems hydrating actually works that way for your body, especially as you age. Understanding how your body reacts is essential to keeping your health on track. Now, let's talk about oranges, a widely known and consumed fruit, especially for its high vitamin C content and refreshing flavor. Whether in juice form, segments, or part of recipes, oranges are a staple in many diets. But for those over 60 taking medications, they may present some important considerations. First, it's crucial to understand that there are different types of oranges, each potentially having a slightly different impact on the body. For example, Bahia orange, also known as pear orange, lime orange, and Salida orange are common varieties that tend to have varying levels of bioactive compounds, including flavonoids and furanocoumarins, substances that directly influence drug interactions. The big issue lies with furanocoumarins, natural compounds found in several citrus fruits, including oranges, grapefruit, and even lesser-known varieties like Seville orange. These substances interfere with liver enzymes, especially those in the cytochrome P450 system, which are responsible for metabolizing many common medications such as cholesterol-lowering statins, calcium channel blockers for blood pressure, and blood thinners. When these enzymes are inhibited by furanocoumarins, the body processes medications more slowly, causing them to accumulate in the bloodstream. This can lead to dangerous side effects: excessive blood pressure drops, increased risk of bleeding from unstable blood thinners, and even muscle inflammation or brain fog caused by toxic statin levels. Let me tell you about Albert, an 82-year-old retiree who loved starting his day with fresh squeezed Bahia orange juice alongside his heart and cholesterol medications. Over time, he began experiencing dizziness, confusion, and eventually suffered a mild stroke. Medical investigation revealed that the daily orange juice habit interfered with his medication metabolism, causing serious side effects. Therefore, the recommendation for people in this age group who take important medications is clear: limit orange juice consumption, especially if it's from types higher in furanocoumarins like Seville orange. In many cases, it's best to avoid the juice altogether and discuss with your doctor the best alternatives to ensure your medications work effectively. If you can't give up the citrus flavor, try adding a splash of lemon or lime to water, which contain fewer of these compounds and have less interaction with medications. Understanding the differences between orange varieties and their effects on your body can make all the difference for your health and safety. Finally, let's talk about mango, a tropical fruit much loved for its sweet, juicy, and refreshing flavor. However, despite seeming like a natural and healthy option, mango deserves special attention, especially for those over 60 taking medications. One surprising fact about mango is that 1 cup of ripe mango contains about 45 grams of natural sugar,
more than what's found in a regular donut. This high sugar content, mostly in the form of fructose, can trigger an inflammatory process in the arteries, contributing to the hardening and narrowing of blood vessels. This chronic inflammation facilitates the formation of clots that significantly increase the risk of stroke. Besides the sugar impact, mango contains a bioactive compound called mangufrin. Recent scientific studies have shown that mangufrin can interfere with liver activity, specifically the cytochrome P450 enzyme system, which metabolizes many medications used to control blood pressure, cholesterol, and heart conditions. When these enzymes are impaired by mangufrin, medications tend to accumulate in the body, raising blood levels and increasing the risk of side effects, such as dizziness, weakness, changes in heart rhythm, and even episodes of dangerously low blood pressure. Let me share the story of William, an 83-year-old retired firefighter who's seeking healthier eating habits, replaced cookies with dried mango, which concentrates even more sugar than fresh mango. He was on medication for atrial fibrillation and high blood pressure. After a few weeks, William began feeling frequent dizziness and one morning fainted while trying to get out of bed. At the hospital, exams showed that he had suffered a mild ischemic stroke and that his medication levels were abnormally high due to mango's interference with liver metabolism. The lesson here is clear. If you enjoy mango, eat only small portions and preferably during the day, never on an empty stomach or at night. Avoid dried mango, which has an even higher sugar concentration. And most importantly, if you're on heart, blood pressure, or cholesterol medications, always talk to your doctor before regularly including mango in your diet. Remember, mango can be a tropical delight, but it requires special attention to protect your brain, your heart, and your overall health. So, did you like learning these important details about these 6 very common fruits in our daily lives? As we've seen, even natural and considered healthy foods can present silent risks, especially for those over 60 who take medications or have health conditions. The key is to understand how our bodies change with age, know the effects these foods can have, and learn how to consume them as safely as possible, whether at the right time of day, in the right amounts, or paired with other foods that help to balance their impact. If you want to dive even deeper into this topic and have a complete, organized material full of practical tips, we've prepared a special ebook with all this content, available for a symbolic price. This is a way for you to support the Longevity Channel so we can keep bringing reliable, science-based information to you and our entire community. So subscribe to the channel right now so you don't miss any updates, leave your like if you found this video helpful, and comment "Aware" below to show you're responsibly taking care of your health. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Your health deserves all this attention and care.